Hello everyone, Suffolk Hobbit, and I hope you all had an awesome Christmas. Kicking off what is to become the new year, I'm going to do a little showcase on my Radagast the Brown Hobbit strategy battle game miniatures. This dude, well, let's start with one everyone's seen, I'm sure, many times before. This dude from Escape Goblin Town box set. There's the camera going to start. Look at that. I'm using my wife's new phone. It's got an awesome automatic adjustable camera thing, which is brilliant. I haven't got a moan and complain. So thank you, wifey, as always. She's smiling at me now as she sits opposite me, doing my geeky thing. But yes, here's Radagast the Brown from the Escape Goblin Town box set. He's the limited edition, which I think after all these years probably means he's not that limited anymore, because it seems everyone I know who buys Escape Goblin Town gets one Radagast in. But there we go. So yeah, here he is. Awesome miniature to paint. The scenic base, as I'm sure you've seen many times before, is fantastic. If I sort of zoom a little bit more, it's going to do it. Oh, not quite. Never mind. But yeah, the scenic base, it's got the tree trunks, it's got little mushroom toadstools, there's a little spider just in the back there. You can just make him out. Leaves is brilliant effects, and the model itself is absolutely fantastic. Got little Sebastian the hedgehog there, his bag, and just in general, it's a really good model. I'd go so far as to say it's probably the best wizard model out of all of them. Gandalf's really good, some iconic poses, but I suppose because of Radagast's colours, what you can do with the different shades of brown do make him more eye-catching and just more fun in general as a miniature to paint. But I went for all the usual stuff, so the colours I used for him were, in no particular order, Battle Brown, Mornfang Brown, Dryad Bark, XV88, Rhinox Hide, and Scrag Brown. And then you got my usual sort of Fortress Grey, or if it was called Fortress Grey, I can't remember now, for his beard, and little highlights and things like that, and the usual Kislev flesh highlights for his skin. But yeah, there's a lot of different browns on his cape and on his cloak and things. But what I've done with my model, as I turn him round, ta-da! That took a long time to do, but I think totally worth it. I'm really pleased with this. That was actually kind of a last minute thing, because obviously the film and the actual Games Workshop miniatures, he just has his cape just brown. It's just brown with the detail on there, just sort of woven in the same shades. But I thought, why not go and sort of challenge myself a little bit and pick out all the details and make it embroidered, make it have all the nice colours, make it up different, patterns have actually been coloured into his cloak. Yeah, there you go. There's just a one-off thing. I literally tried one flower. I think it's flowers, I think it's what it's meant to be. It looks like that's what I went for anyway, but I tried one flower, a little bit of green for a stalk. So actually this might look good. Did the whole thing, and yeah, just really pleased. It was really cool. Makes it a bit different. I've seen a couple of people on Google Images do something similar. Same with this bag. I've picked out the details a little bit more, and that is really it for this guy. Really simple, I used to struggle painting browns. I used to find it hard to highlight browns because the way I highlight, I just had a bit of white or a bit of black to make it darker or lighter. So it took a little while for me to sort of perfect the skill of using browns, if you see what I mean. If any of you out there are the same as I was. And so I was a little bit daunted to paint him at first, which is why it took me so long to paint him. But after finally sort of perfecting a bit, I went for it, and he's just going so well. Really pleased. Going for the usual highlight on his for his staff, and there's the little wizard gem that they have. There is nice little light blue sort of shining through there. I was thinking of maybe going for sort of a glowing effect for his staff, maybe, so it's going to catch and sort of glow across the staff, but because it's so out the way of the model, I figured it can't be wasted really, so I've just left it as it is. But yeah, there he is in all his glory. I've just noticed Sebastian's eyes are just white. It looks like he's got a death stare going on, so he does indeed need some pupils. I'll have to work on that. But yeah, there is Radagast on foot. So that leads us on to Finecast. No! But yeah, here he is on his sleigh, whatever you call it. I'll say sled. I'm sure it's sled. Is it sled? Let me know. But yeah, here he is with his Roscabelle rabbits on the base. Apologies for the sides of the base. As you can see, they have still got paint spillage and some dried up PVA glue. I need to work on that, so I'm very sorry for those out there that expect miniatures to be completely and utterly finished. I'm one of those people, and it pains me to be one of those people that haven't actually finished it completely, so forgive me, do forgive me. But yeah, here he is. This was, to be quite honest, a nightmare to build. It was okay in general. Some people sort of really sold it, you know, that they're bad on reviews and stuff, and said how really awful, isn't it? Again, it put me off building it and actually assembling this model for quite some time. But once you get down to it, I'd recommend building the sled first. Radagast is one piece pretty much. Well, he is one piece. Do the sleds and work on the rabbits bit by bit. Use blue tack to sort of hold them in place, and use a lot of hot water. Put them in boiled water to help shape them. They'll need a lot of work. You'll actually see, again, apologies because it's not technically finished. You'll see there. Where am I? There I am. There's a few bits with the plastic, and there. Where the reins for the rabbits don't actually touch, and that's because the mould it didn't allow it, or there was, you know, the plastic wasn't there, and obviously the plastic is meant to be there, I assume, to connect the rabbits up to obviously, well, to make it to make them flow together. So there's obviously a moulding issue, or maybe I was cutting them off the sprues, maybe I cut the bits off too short, but I doubt that very much. So there's a little bit of green stuff needed, or a little bit of thin plastic that I can glue into there and then just finish off. But for that reason, do check with blue tack, the miniature, with the rabbits. Really work on the positioning. It's not overly clear, and you need to sort of make it, you know, because this is such an iconic model, it's a real sort of centerpiece, you know, in gaming terms and just for display purposes for those as a hobbyist. So it's worth investing the time. But yeah, here he is anyway, for me gibbering along. So there's rabbits there. I've gone for a very dark shade in the eyes. You can see I'm still contemplating whether to make that a bit brighter. To be honest, I wanted the eyes to look a bit darker, you know, for my own reasons as such, really, I suppose. But painting the rabbits, you're obviously going to see these are very different from the Games Workshop ones, and that's because, well, simply as I always say, look on Google Images and watch the film, and you'll see that they're actually very sort of a light grey shade of the actual body, and their ears and patches of their legs are more of a brown. Actually, they're more of a golden brown, to be honest. My brown hasn't really come out too well, but again, that's kind of what I went for as I started painting it. I was happy with this shade. So yeah, have a good look in the film, and you'll see there are actually two shades of colour. Whereas the Games Workshop, they've gone for, I assume it must be XV88 maybe, is the main brown. It's a light brown in any respect. But yeah, that's the rabbits. I wanted to go for that. Again, tight on the film, make it look accurate. I didn't overly go mad on highlighting the hairs and stuff for them, because not trying to pass the blame as such, to try and make up for not a good paint job, although I am pleased with it. But the mould of this rabbits wasn't overly fantastic. The details are there, but it's incredibly hard to pick it out. I mean, even if you dry brushed it, you're going to go over the same bits over and over again. I don't know if other people have had the same issue. So again, a lot of that's freehand highlighting as such. But I think it works out well. But again, the mould is very blurred. I want to say it's not as in detail. I can imagine if it was metal, it would be much more in depth. The moulding for the hairlines, the ears, the eyes. There's a lot of blurring. There's a lot of, you know, you've got to do a lot to try and make it stick out more, which is a shame. But again, it is a good model. I haven't said that. So yeah, that's the rabbits anyway. Then we've got the base. Obviously that comes with the model. That slate there, that's just a piece of resin for the sled to sit on. So these pieces are what I've actually added. One there and one there. I've added that myself. This and this, obviously that comes with the model. Awesome little bits of scenery. And again, spent a little bit of time painting them up. I'm really pleased with how they come out. Again, little spider. And then you've got this awesome, I think, to me, honestly, this is one of the best bits of scenery, sort of sculpted at Games Workshop with models, because it really is just so characterful. If I can get it to focus, there we go. And that's a little bird taking flight, obviously startled from Radagast hurtling across the field on his sled, and I just think it's really characterful. It's a great little bit of modelling just in itself, to be quite honest. You could use it with anything. I really enjoyed painting that just by itself, which is weird to say, but it's just such a cool little piece. Yeah, and there we go. I'm very pleased with how it came out. Again, all the same colours. It didn't actually take that long to paint, in all seriousness. because once again, I was used to painting Radagast there, so of course when I come to painting Radagast here, it was easy to do. I knew what to do with him, knew what to paint with him. So again, straight away bossed out all the foundation colours as such, and come out really well. If anything, slightly easier to paint, because whereas the rabbits were a bit hard in the detail, this guy, the detail really stuck out quite nicely. And as you can see there, again, I've done all the highlights for his cape, and the same with his bag. Strange little extra note though, just random thing I was to mention to my friends, is that size-wise, I don't know if this is like a fine cast thing or whatever, and it's not the end of the world, obviously. This is just more of just a little random thing. But the size of the models vary. This guy is a good few millimetres bigger than this guy. It just makes me curious as to why that is. Again, it's not really an issue as such, but I just find it strange how it makes me wonder what other models are sort of a slight size difference. But yeah, there's a sled. Again, really easy to paint, nice and easy. Again, once you get the brown sorted, the sled and Radagast are actually quite straightforward. Oh, got a bit of blur going on, and there we go. Again, there's this little staff. When I first painted this, I didn't realise that was this staff. As soon as I realised, hang on, why is this stuck here? Then I've realised that's his staff slotted into his sled, obviously as he's hurtling off. And there we go. My plan is to try and get all the Radagast models, just because it's so cool. Next up is Radagast on his eagle, which I think is £40. Strange, that's £30, £35, whereas the eagle's 40 quid. But to me, surely that should be worth more than the eagle, just because the eagle's, well, to me, it's just such a simple model. I can't imagine the moulding process being too complicated or as much resin as all of this. So I think it seems strange why that's a little more expensive. But yeah, my plan is to get Radagast on eagle, and although it's out of production now, I think, I haven't seen it for a while. Obviously had a limited run, intentionally or not intentionally. But that's the other Radagast standing, where he stood sort of upright, holding a staff with his hand running through his beard. I'd love to get that. I'd love to get all 4 models. But I know if there's only 4 models, unless there's any more on the horizon or any I've missed over the last few years. But there, hope you enjoyed it, guys, as usual. Thanks for watching. Any comments, any tips, any advice, any sort of, well, if you guys know at all where that Radagast standing is, do let me know, because that'd be awesome. And as always, take care, rock and roll. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.